Hi there. Tonight I thought I'd just do a bit of coding on a new website I've launched called Code Review Checklist. Looks a bit like this in front of me. And the idea is that you can refer to this site if you're either doing a code review or you want to get ideas as to what you should be checking in code reviews. I got the sort of inspiration for this website from this website. It's a very famous one called Web Developer Checklist. It's now changed hands and someone else is looking after it by the looks of it, but this is a really good checklist if you're doing web development. But I wanted to create the equivalent for doing sort of code reviews, so I had to check, and sure enough, codereviewchecklist.com domain name was free, so I registered that and just started putting a bit together. It's just a side project, so I'm just hacking away at it a bit that I can, and I'm trying to get some other people to help me as well, so that'd be great. I'm going to make it open source so that if you do want to improve it or help improve it or pick up the odd issue here or there, that would be fantastic. We can make together a fantastic resource for developers. Okay, so I'm going to do this for about half an hour because I'm going to talk about something else at 8 o'clock, but this code review checklist GitHub project here is very basic, as you can see. It's only been around about 6 or 7 days. I've not even got populate the Readme MD file and rubbish up stuff like that, to be honest. I've got a few issues here, so I'm just going to look at a few of these today. So let's look at some. So first of all, I've got one here. It says provide a link to GitHub project, encourage pull requests. So if I look at the site, it's not obvious that it's I want to make it open source and I want people to have a pick up issues that I've created or create their own issues or submit pull requests. So what I want to do is just make that a bit more obvious. So I'm going to pick up that issue today. I'm also rubbish at actually adding in descriptions on here. So let's add a bit of a description first of all. There we go. Oh, this is a bit of a spelling mistake. Right, so it should be obvious that the site is open source and encourages contributions. So first of all, I need something on this home page that hints that it's open source, and I'm probably going to have another link to another page with a bit more information about the link to GitHub and what you can help with and stuff like that. I mean, this site there are other things I need to do with it. I mean, just the responsiveness is rubbish. My CSS was rushed putting this together, so I've got like 33% column width there, and then when you look at that on a mobile, it's unusable because it's just all squished up. Okay, so I said I was going to pick this up. I did, didn't I? Right, so let's assign that to me, because I do actually have someone who's volunteered to help out on this project, and they have assigned the odd issue to themselves, so we don't want to be doing the same work. Right. Provide link to GitHub project, encourage pull requests. So how am I going to do that? It needs to be obvious. Let's have a nav item here that says open source. Maybe. Got a paragraph here. Maybe once under construction's gone there, I can put a sentence about it being open source. Maybe something in the footer. I don't know. Let's at least have a link to the GitHub project on here. Let's put that in the footers for starters. And then we can always make it a bit better, can't we? Right. Right, where's my footer? Here it is. get a link in there, then make it look better. Let's link that straight to the GitHub project. Project on GitHub, site on GitHub. What do people tend to put these days? No idea. Project on GitHub, site on GitHub, repository on GitHub, GitHub repository. So many options. Let's do this. What was the URL again? Something like that. Is it that? It's got to be that. It is that. Okay. Right, GitHub repository. Let's see how that looks in the footers for starters. Oh, this is my first proper Twitch stream, by the way, so if it's a bit amateurish or rubbish, then that's why. I'm open to suggestions on how to make it better. Please, the more suggestions the better. Just be gentle, be kind. Okay, so what we got? GitHub repository. That's not bad, is it? You could look at that. You could kind of see, you could spot that link if you're looking for it. Does it work? It works. Okay, that's fine, but it's still not quite obvious enough for me. So what else can we do to make this a bit more obvious that it's open source and I want people to help out with it if they want to? Big open source brackets, no. Accepting pull requests. Maybe for now I do put something on here. Let's read this again. The following checklist for code reviews isn't meant to be exhaustive. Maybe like a bit of a banner or a corner thing here that says open source or something. Not very good at them. What about a contribute link? What do other people do? That's a good question. Let's have a link, because I did say I'd have a separate page for it as well. Okay. Don't need a completely separate new controller for it, so let's just add a new action result or action on the homepage one. So let's just copy and paste that, because all good code starts with copy and paste, doesn't it? So let's call that contribute /contribute /open source. Let's do, I don't know, going back and forth in my mind. Let's do open source. And then let's make the title code review checklist is open source. What else have we got? No, don't want that. Description, let's make it something else. Code review checklist is, I'll correct that in a second, is open source and accepting pull requests. That will do for starters, surely. Encourages contributions. Do you want? I can always change this later. It doesn't have to be perfect, does it? Yep, that sounds about right. So now I need a view. Now I'm sure there's a keyboard shortcut where you can create the view from here. If it doesn't exist already, it doesn't always work for me. Add view. I think it normally puts it in the wrong place. Let's give it a go though. Add view. Is it going to put it here? Is it going to put it here? Last time I tried this, I'm sure it put it in the wrong place. It's supposed to put it in this home folder. This doesn't feel right. Okay. Open source. Okay, so is it put it in the right place? It's not put it in the right place. It's put it in that controller. It's like, no, why would I want to put the view in the controllers folder? I want to put the view in the views folder. Right, okay, let's just move it. Operation might take a long time. Why? I'm moving. Here we go. Okay, so I don't need that. Let's just make it a bit basic for now, shall we? If anyone who's following along has got any questions, by all means, just drop them in the chat. Right. I know I've got Visual Studio Update. I've closed you once. Okay, open source contributions. Oh, John, I can change the title. As I've said, it doesn't have to be perfect first time. Is that even going to work? It should work. No, it shouldn't, because we've not put the link in the header yet. Okay, let's put it a bit next to the about. Again, nice copy and paste. Gonna burn in hell. Okay, so called that open source, didn't we? We did. It is on the home controller. I have no idea what it's gonna look like. Let's give it a run. I'm very pleased if someone actually ever used this website. I should really look at the Google Analytics figures. That's not right, is it? That is definitely not right. So that has put it there. Well, at least the page works. Page title works, but it's not very well laid out, is it? So let's fix that. I'm trying to think how I've done it on other sites. In fact, I'm just going to whiz over and have a look at some other sites I've created that are very similar to this and see how I've done it on there. See, you see my design skills are somewhat limited and they're very much copy and paste. But for me, it's more about the content than the visuals. You can disagree with that if you want. Okay, so why is that styled differently? I bet they're... okay, so there needs an LI, a list item with a nav item class. Fair enough, that makes sense. Oh yeah, I copied and pasted the wrong bit. Rookie mistake. Ooh. Oh, come on. Right, I think that's got a lot better chance of actually appearing how I want it to appear now. Now, I've got a feeling that if I refresh this, it's not, I don't need that anymore. Oh, this is one of my other websites, by the way, visualstudiotips.co.uk. If you use Visual Studio, you might find it useful. It's got little things like, for example, when I was looking in Visual Studio there, you can see I've got these dots to show line space where you can toggle them off by doing Control RW, which is great because if you've got some like trailing white space. It bugs me either in markup files or in code files. I hate it. So you can always toggle that on, and you can change the color as well of that white space. And the tip to toggle them and change the white space are on here somewhere. There's show white space. Da, da, da. Oh, I've even got a video how to show it. There you go. Yeah, by default it's a really dark green, which on a dark theme you can't see very well. So you might want to change that to bright yellow, like what I have. And then I've got one for change colour, I think. Anyway, I'm digressing a little bit. Digressing far too much. Let's close that. I've got what I wanted from this. So if I refresh that, is that going to put these side by side? No, it's not. Okay, fine. Maybe I need to hit run again. Got a really quick question for my followers, people following this video, by the way. Can you actually hear me? Because like I say, I have not done a Twitch stream before, so I'm assuming that my microphone and everything's working. So let's, if you wouldn't mind just saying, yep, we can hear you, or nope, your audio is a bit rubbish. Okay, so now that's okay, so that's now working side by side. It's not the best. For starters, the heading's not styled the same as that page, so let's make that consistent. So that heading has got this display 4 class on, so let's go and put display 4 class on that. Okay. Ah, thanks. Oh, cheers, Sean. Everything's working fine. Ah, thanks ever so much. Appreciate that. It's really actually quite difficult when you're starting off on this. I have no idea. And I hear horror stories of people just talking into the microphone for 2 hours and then not realising the audio was fine. Okay, so we're going to add the class. Oh, I forgot what it was now. It was something like heading 4, wasn't it? Well, let's display 4. That's what it is. That's the badger. No idea what I'm going to say on this page, by the way, other than sort of outright begging to help make it better. So I will just put some random spiel on here, like this website is open source. Is it one word or two? I need to look at that. Oh, in fact, that's going to bug me. I need to Google that really quickly. Here's open source. One word. It should be hyphenated. You can use both versions. Okay, but it doesn't really say combine them. Fine, that's fine. The website is open source. So you can help make it better? Help make it better. That might have to do for now because I'm lacking some inspiration. This website is open source. You can help make it better. It sounds very noddy. Drop on GitHub, and let's have another link to GitHub. This website is open source on GitHub, so you can help make it better. That'll do for like a bit of an introduction. There are existing issues ranging from layout, content, and design. You can also make your own suggestions. I don't know. I've never really ran an open source project before. Does it show? But this is my first one. I've contributed on some others, but sort of running one, that's a different story. Right, okay, let's see how that looks. Just seen you made a comment there, Sean. What does that say? Oh, okay, that's really generous, Sean. So it's a good question. If I'm asking people to contribute, what kind of contributions do I think they can make? So I've put some on the GitHub project. So the issues I've got on there at the moment, they range from making a dark theme or making a dark theme switchable, but someone else who'd like to contribute called James has picked that one up. The Readme file needs updating because it's blank. I'm rubbish at keeping Readme files updated. The actual code review issues themselves, these have been sort of, I won't say copy and pasted, but these have been sort of inferred from other sites where you just like do a Google search and says code review checklist hints and tips, and I'm just trying to coalesce them in one place. So I'm sure there's some better ones that we could put in here, some new sections, change them around, reword them. So I'm open to that. I also don't like the styling on the page as well. That again, this is what I've just at the version 1. I'm a big fan of getting things out there first of all, and then just make them incrementally better, and not just continuously adding layers of paint before you launch. But I think I've seen a lot better checkboxes styling, and I think my inspirations come from this site. And see on this, for starters, they've got a lovely dark theme. I don't want to copy it completely, but it does have a nice dark theme, hint hint. And when you tick it, it crosses out as well. So that's one thing. I'm not too bothered about these expanders for now, so I'm going to leave that for now, but maybe one day we can expand the sections in for a bit more information. The other thing I've sort of thought about is maybe once the content, the checklist items are a bit more solidified, final, then creating a PDF version that can be downloaded. I thought, that might be useful. People might prefer to have a PDF version they can print off and, I don't know, maybe even laminate. So there's that. I've already mentioned that the layout needs to be made responsive. So yeah, it's these columns. My CSS is shocking, by the way, but at the moment I think these columns are just set to be like 33%. So if I minimize them or reduce them, they just carry on being 33%. And even when I look at that on mobile view, it's even worse. I mean, look at that. It's shocking. But like I say, it's a version 1. So ideally that would just be one column, I guess. And then maybe if you had like the iPad sort of width, maybe that could be 2 columns. I don't know. I'd have to play around with the that sort of side of things. But that's something else I could do with some help with. But yeah, this is very early days for this project. I'm not sure how useful it's going to be for anyone at the moment, but I appreciate your kind words. Thanks. Okay, so where were we? We were adding some hints for to encourage people to contribute, and I was running it, and I just put it up here, and we've now got an open source link. If I click that, open source contributions, this website is open source on GitHub, so you can help make it better. There are existing issues ranging from layout, content design. You can also make your own suggestions. It seems a bit short, but I guess it puts the point across. That might even do for now. I imagine GitHub has actually surely got a third party, not a third party, but some sort of plugin where you can just put some code in and the issues will just appear right here. That would be awesome. That's got to be a thing. Surely that's a thing. I wonder. Don't like the fact that when I've clicked that, it's got /home /open source, whereas the about hasn't. And it's gone uppercase. Also don't like that. Right, so let's fix that. I think that's to do with routing. That'll be why. It's because for my about page I've explicitly declared the root, I think, but I haven't for the open source one, so let's try that. Open source. Should it be a dash in there, shouldn't it? Let's leave it without a dash for now. Just spotted a spelling mistake there. Well, that's the other thing people can submit pull requests for, is to fix my spelling mistakes. Right, okay. Let's see if that link works now. I mean, it was working before, but the format wasn't what I wanted. Where's that? Put that. Okay. Here we go. That's better. Now I prefer to have trailing slashes at the end of my URLs like this. There is something I can do to enforce it in the MVC settings or configuration. So I'm going to add that, and also you can enforce all the URLs to be lowercase when you're generating them. So I'm not going to try and do them now, but I am going to stop and quickly put a an issue in the repository for it. So I'm just going to put enforce trailing slash on URLs. And if I was really lazy, I could just put the same issue, use the same issue for the lowercase as well. But I'm not going to do that. Although whoever picks up one is going to be almost in the exact same place that they need to do the other. Enforce trailing slash on URLs. Enforce lowercase on URLs. There we go. So someone could pick them up. It might yet be me, but we'll see. It bugs me as well that I've not done the Readme here. It's rubbish, the Readmes. Let's just peel off and have a bit of a stab at the Readme, shall we? Because like I said, I only wanted to go until 9 o'clock on this, and then I wanted to stream a new side project that I want to create, and that's got all sorts of risks of going good or bad. I think I know which one. Okay, Readme. I was asking someone on Twitter the other day what was the best, what markdown file editors do they recommend using. Let me try this one. I've already got installed. It's not too bad. Okay. Let's do a code review checklist. Okay. Code review checklist is an online resource for helping with code reviews. I'll mention something about it being sort of language agnostic and stuff like that a bit later on. And can be found at, I can never remember if it's square then round. Let's try it this way. Code review checklist. Right, that looks right. So code review, that's the thing with, I've got a really high DPI, I think, on this laptop that I'm using. For some reason in this HTML render at the right hand side, it always makes it look really small. When I open it on my Mac, it's fine, but not on this laptop. Code review checklist. Code review checklist is an online resource for helping with code reviews and can be found at That will do for now. It's better than what was there before. Okay. With that, I think I'm going to commit what I've done so far, because we're quickly approaching 9 o'clock and I want to switch to this other stream. Small and often, I think, with this project. How do you eat an elephant? Small bites. No idea what an elephant would taste like. I'd love to know if anyone's in the chat has ever tasted an elephant. Right, okay, so what have we got? Let's figure out how to use Git for a second. Right, so let's put readme updated. Open source page started. I don't know what people do. I don't know if people prefer doing them on separate lines. I don't usually prefer doing it on separate lines just because sometimes you can't really see them very well. Might do it for this one, this commit. Readme updated, open source page started, link to GitHub repository added. Is there anything else we did? That'll do for now, I think. Honestly, didn't do much more than that, did we? That's fine. That's enough for now. Okay. And then I've not even, would you believe, got around to setting up continuous integration and continuous deployments. I'm actually going to have to right-click deploy from my Visual Studio to get this up there. So let's do that now. Where's that gone? Oh, here we go. Don't think I'm showing any secrets. No. And the bad thing about it doing it this way and not swapping out sort of slots or anything like that is that it takes the site down for a good 20-30 seconds. But like I said, small steps, small side project. Okay, that says it's published. Let's see how long the site's down for. Oh, I think I've got some sound effects here. Is that building enough suspense? I don't know. I've got another one that's relevant. Yeah, that's not good, is it? It will spin up eventually. I think it's spun up now. No, it hasn't. Not yet. It will do. Just need to be patient. This is how not to do it, kids. You should use sort of Azure pipelines or something like that. Azure DevOps or GitHub Actions or something like that. This is very old school. Bet you're surprised I'm not sort of FTPing files up. That's what I used to do. I think it's working. Yep, it's finally spun up and we have got, oh, hang on. Yeah, so we have now got our open source link at the top with our content, which is a little bit brief, and a link to the GitHub repository at the bottom. And that will do for now. Can I close any of these issues off? Oh, and the Readme file should be updated as well. Yeah, it's ever so slightly better than it was, and that's saying something. Okay, so update Readme file. We'll call that a work in progress. I don't want to close that yet. Provide link to GitHub project. Encourage pull requests. I kind of done that. I'm going to leave that there for now because I think that page needs a lot more content, and it'd be awesome if there was a way of sort of getting these issues here, if GitHub has a plugin where I could get it to appear on this page. Like I said, that must be a thing. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up now. Thanks ever so much for watching this, which has been my sort of first Twitch stream. Thanks ever so much, Sean, for sort of holding my hand a bit with that and confirming that you could actually hear what I was saying, which always helps. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there, and I am going to start another stream on something I think is even more exciting, which is to do with voice recognition, voice controlled virtual assistant. So I'm going to start that next. Okay, thanks ever so much. Follow me if you're not already, and I'll put this video on YouTube as well. Thank you very much. Goodbye.